Hi guys, we're going to take some notes on erosion. So you all should have a paper that looks very similar to this. First things first, let's place our name on the name blank. Remember that it is a requirement that you use your first and last name in this class. It's just better that way. So here we go. Since I'm the teacher, I'll be using my teacher name. The hour, whatever hour you're in, place that here. And the date, place the date up here. The date is always on the board. For instance, you could be doing this on March the 3rd, 2022. Other science students may be doing this on a different date. Make sure your date is correct, please. So we're going to talk erosion today, and our main question that we are going to answer today through this discussion is, what is erosion? So please write this down with me. In your first blank, you're going to fill in erosion. So now your question reads, what is erosion? Please pause the video at any time if you need time to write down erosion or any of the other words. So what is erosion? You guys are very familiar with this. Erosion is how land or rocks change over time. So your second blank is capital E. It's the beginning of a sentence. Erosion happens when rock or land changes over time. There are two types of erosion that we will be talking about today. Now, there are multiple types of erosion, but there are two types that I want you to learn today. The first type, we got to fill this out. Two types of erosion. The first type that we'll be talking about today is a type of erosion called wind erosion. So if you think about wind, we have a lot of wind in Illinois. Sometimes we have very windy days. But what I want you to think about is if you've ever been standing in the wind on a very windy day and something has hit you, like the wind has picked up a plastic bag, a piece of dirt, something's gotten in your eye, maybe some leaves fell onto you because of the wind. So wind erosion happens when wind blows and it carries small particles. We know what particles are now because we've done our vocabulary. When the wind blows, it can carry small particles in it that brush against land and rock, changing its shape. Okay. Now, of course, if you get a plastic bag blown into you from the wind, it does not change your shape. Okay. But let's pretend that the wind blows your garbage can to the same place every day after the garbage man empties it every week. Over time, your garbage can will begin to leave a mark on the pavement where the wind blows it to every time. But in nature, wind has created many amazing things. So wind erosion has created this example in this picture below. This is known as something called the wave. The wave. Not like ocean waves, but you will see in a moment why it's called the wave. And I want you to write down that it's located in Arizona. It's located in Arizona. Arizona is a lovely state southwest of Illinois where we currently live. So go ahead and hit pause after you've written this down. And I'll take that back. Make sure you hit pause to write this down if you need to write this down and I'm going too fast. I want to show you where Arizona is real quick. I'm going to hit Google Maps, or Google Earth, I'm sorry. And if I hit Google Earth, hopefully it starts us off in Illinois. That's where I've asked it to start us off at. Hopefully you can still see this. Oh, we're in the Grand Canyon. I'm going to click this. I'm going to search Springfield, Illinois. It's right here. Here we are in Illinois. We all agree this is Illinois. I would like to take you to Arizona. Here we go. We're going to Arizona. So as you can see, it's southwest of Springfield where we are. It's a lovely state, lots of desert, mountainous. You've got your canyons, including the Grand Canyon, and of course the place called The Wave. So let's get back to our notes. Your notes should look like this. And I would like to show you a small clip of a video of a gentleman visiting The Wave. Now, just so you know, this is a YouTuber, don't know him, but there are only a few people who can go to The Wave at a time, and apparently it's a pretty big deal. If you go to The Wave, you have to pass some kind of class. This man in the video has passed this class. I want to show about a minute of this, showing what this place looks like.
At least somewhat, to make that hike. That's cool. I think this is it. What do you think, guys? Man, that is incredible. They say this is 190 million years old, and it's made out of Navajo sandstone, which is a fairly hard substance. It's the same sandstone that we saw over at Horseshoe Bend just a few days ago. They said it was caused by water erosion at first, and then eventually wind erosion after the water ceased to come in here. There's just, very, very little rain in this area. Wow, look around. Amazing, huh, Selena?
All right, science students, pretty cool. You can see in this picture, if you're not looking at the dog, but how there's actually like lines that the sand carried by the wind has kind of drawn in this area. Very cool. Very hard place to hike. If you notice the man, he was out of breath. The dog seems to be enjoying this though. Pretty cool place. So I want to talk to you about how the wave was created. So 93 million years ago. That's what this man said. So at first there was water in this area, but that's not what made this place so beautiful. What made this place so beautiful with all these lines and all these colors and all these shapes is wind erosion, okay? This was created or made by wind erosion. Okay? It was created by wind erosion. And when the wind carried small pieces of rock through the air, it rubbed over the sandstone rock, and over a period of 93 million years, it has created this structure. So please write these things down with me. Created by wind erosion, exclamation point. Wind carries sand through the air, comma, and over, oh, let's get rid of and, air, period, over 93 million years. The sand in the air created this area. Okay, so this was created by wind erosion because the wind carries sand through the air. Over 93 million years, the sand in the air created this area. So when the wind pushes that sand up against other rocks, like in this area, it over time has cut these lines and stripes and this landscape into these rocks. You can see up here in this little picture that up here are some normal looking rocks, and then you come down here and you see what the wind has done. Okay, so press pause if you need to get this copied. We're moving on to water erosion. Here it comes. Your next blank, you're going to fill in with water. That's our next type of erosion. And here's what water erosion does. At your bullet point, after the word when, you're going to write water causes, rock or, land to change shape over time. And again, we're talking millions of years. This isn't something that you can see in a week, day, or a month unless you're building sand castles or sand mansions on the beach. That will obviously erode away very easily by the waves, but big time water erosion takes millions of years. Our example is a place called the Grand Canyon. And it is also located in Arizona. We'll just put AZ. Arizona is a popular place. So with water erosion, you get lovely places like the Grand Canyon. And I have showed you multiple pictures of the Grand Canyon, as it is the #1 place to experience water erosion. Millions of years ago, this used to be a desert. This river that I'm pointing at right now was once up here, and this was all desert. Over millions of years, this river eroded down through this rock, through this layer, through this layer, through all these layers, and created the canyon. You can see that it's a steep-sided valley, okay, and here's your river at the bottom. This is the Grand Canyon. It is the #1 example in all science classes of water erosion. Let's go back to our notes real quick. Let's talk about how the Grand Canyon was created. So, on your little paragraph lines next to your picture, we must talk about it. So, over millions of years, the Colorado, I'm going to put CO as the abbreviation for Colorado River, eroded the desert away, which, which created the Grand, capital G, Mrs. Trial, Grand Canyon. Okay. Go ahead and hit pause if you need to so you get that copied down. There's one last thing that you'll need to watch while you're on this video. See if I can get this link to work. So this is a decent little video I'm about to show you. Did not expect it to start right away, but in this video you get your pictures and places of the Grand Canyon and other places that have water erosion. So all you have to do at this point is just take a look and watch with me.
It's constantly changing. Some changes are major events that you can see happening, like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Other changes to Earth's surface are happening so slowly that you cannot notice them from day to day. One such process is erosion. Erosion happens when rock or land changes shape over time. There are different types of erosion. One type is wind erosion. You may not think that wind can change the shape of Earth, but this has happened in many places. One location that has been shaped by wind erosion is in the southwest United States, in Arizona and Utah. This area is known as the wave because it looks like an ocean wave crashing. But how did it get this shape? Wind blowing through the desert carries sand along with it and blows across the rock. This wears away small amounts of the softer rock, and over a long enough time period, the wind creates unusual shapes in the rocks. This area of Utah, called Monument Valley, has some of these unusual rock formations caused by wind erosion. As the rock has been worn away, it has left behind tall structures like these totem-shaped rock pillars. Wind erosion is common in areas of land that are higher in elevation, such as these formations, also in Utah. Another common type of erosion is water erosion. This occurs when water causes rock or land to change shape over time. One of the most dramatic examples of water erosion is also found in the United States. The Colorado River flows from Colorado to Mexico. Over millions of years, the water traveling this path created a canyon. This canyon is now called the Grand Canyon and is a well-known tourist attraction. The canyon is a mile deep and up to 18 miles across at its widest areas. This amazing sight was shaped entirely by the water running over it day after day. Another amazing example of water erosion can be seen along the coast of Scotland, where you will find a rock formation known as the Old Man of Hoy. In the same way that river water can erode rock, ocean waves hitting the land again and again can also cause erosion. This particular formation is called a sea stack. It is a large column of rock that is left after wind and waves erode the surrounding rock and cause sections of the cliff to completely collapse. The Old Man of Hoy is almost 450 feet high. You can figure out if erosion is caused by water or by wind in a simple way. If there is a water source there, like a river, a waterfall, or an ocean, then the erosion is due to water. There are beautiful examples of wind and water erosion all over the world. Many of these locations are popular tourist destinations, while others are rarely seen. Maybe someday you will see one of these wonders for yourself.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure your notes are turned in to either myself or Miss B, and we will do this again tomorrow. See ya.